Hi, my name is Jess, and the second video today will explore a mind map that focuses on sensory adaptation and the five senses responsible for this. As you can see, we'll go through the processes touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste, and exactly how those are achieved. The images give you insight into the examples we will use today in regards to how sensory adaptation is perceived in our environments as well. Now, sensory adaptation is defined as the adaptation to environmental stimuli after consistent exposure to it. Yeah. The importance of this exposure is that it allows us to process and prioritize essential needs to our environment. So, being exposed to something for so long allows us to get used to it, adapt to it, so we can focus on those things that are just a bit more important to us at the time. The mind map goes through, like I said, the five senses that contribute to this process, and using the images, we can make assumptions and guesses onto what those examples will be as well. The first one is touch. Now, touch is a process in which a variety of receptors communicate with the brain via the skin in order for us to understand the environment around us. Now, an example of this using the ice cube is ice baths. Yeah. The longer we're in a bath, that is freezing, the more our body adapts to the temperature, the longer we are in it. It's the same can be said for if the bath was hot, yeah? Our body becomes adapted to that environment. Sight is another one, and it is achieved via a very complex system of cells that translate information obtained by light to the brain. Yeah. An example of this using the sun is being in a very dark room at night. Now, there is the wives' tale that carrots do help us see at night. In reality, it's actually our body and our eyes adjusting to the lack of light. We sometimes can see outlines of objects, for example, in the dark. Now, hearing is information obtained via vibrations that are translated into electrical pulses that are sent to the brain, as said in the mind map. An example of this is white noise or having a fan on overnight and being able to sleep regardless. The more we're exposed to it, the less it becomes a priority in our environment. Smell. Smells are intercepted by nerve endings that are then transmitted to the brain. Now, an example of this using the image here is buying a new perfume and using it for the first time. Now, as you continue to use it for a long period of time, it starts to get difficult to actually recognize that smell. Yeah, others might be able to, but us ourselves, it becomes significantly harder. An example of sensory adaptation. Yeah. Taste, last one, taste buds provide proteins that allow us to differentiate flavors. Now, they also communicate with the brain, help us identify things we like and don't like, things that are helpful, things that are not. Chili is a perfect example. Chili consumed for a long period of time would eventually, the individual would adapt and the pain and the intensity of it would reduce. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, this mind map today provided a little bit more insight into sensory adaptation, what the five senses do, how they process information, and examples of that sensory adaptation.